So the right has been waging some very strange battles lately. One of them was when the whole thing was going down with Steven Crowder and his wife. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of people on the right now trying to get rid of what's called no-fault divorce. So they quite literally want to force people to stay in like loveless and pathetic and sad marriages. I mean, okay, you want to die on that hill? By all means, go die on that hill. But you also have the return of child labor in many states. The Republican governors are signing bills all over the place trying to bring it back. I mean, it is astonishingly terrible. And this is at the same time Democratic governors are doing free school breakfast and lunch for kids. So total night and day difference. But another one of these things is I've seen a number of right-wing commentators now basically wage war on the notion of retirement. As if there's something bad or wrong with wanting to spend your elderly years sort of relaxing and not being in the rat race of life and working 24/7. So here's Charlie Kirk. Credit to Media Matters for clipping this out here. And he's going to weigh in on this issue. Let's listen.
I will say there's a lot of lying around the Social Security or Medicare issue. A lot of lying, where it is used as a political football. Now, I will say that for future retirees, people under the age of 45, we should absolutely raise the retirement age. I'm going to say something very provocative. I'm not a fan of retirement.
Oh, come on, Charlie, come on. By the way, this comes right on the heels of him doing this thing about like, look, bro, people who get Social Security now, like, I get it, bro. I get it. We're not going to touch it for you. We're not going to touch it for you. Why does he do that? He does that because he knows that if Republicans were to touch that third rail, it's a wrap. Because Social Security and Medicare are the most popular government programs in the country. It's like over 70 or 80% approval. So if you come out and say, I'm against those, good luck to you in the next election. So he's smart enough to do the whole tap dance. Bro, I'm not going to touch it right now. I'm not going to touch it right now, bro. But then the truth comes out. But for the younger generation, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to touch it. And also, you heard that second part. I don't even like the idea of retirement. Well, I don't care what you do or don't like. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with people who've worked their whole lives and are finally going to get some time to relax and soak it in and enjoy their family and watch the sunrise and whatever. So I'm against that. Okay, Charlie, by all means.
I mean, it's biblical. I think that if you retire, you should...
He's against retirement because it's not biblical? Jesus Christ.
I don't think retirement is biblical. I think that if you retire, you should always be doing something.
People do always do something. Retirement means you're just not going to work anymore. It doesn't mean like you're mandated to lay on the couch, which, by the way, God bless you if you choose to do that. But it's not like everybody who retires just does that. What is he talking about? And the biblical argument is my favorite thing ever because it's like, I don't like it because it's not biblical. Okay, well, eating shellfish is not biblical, right? Like the number of things that aren't biblical are endless. And the number of things that are biblical, one of the things that's in the Bible, the story of Lot, where Lot's own daughters rape him. That's biblical. So should daughters rape their fathers? Like, what are we talking about here? This really stupid book from thousands of years ago says this. I don't care. It's like Mother Goose says this. Like, who cares? Like, what does that have to do with anything? The Bhagavad Gita says that. Like, who cares?
You can't slow down, but you should be helping people, part-time work. You should be helping with the grandkids, volunteering. I do not like the overemphasis on a retirement-based society. I don't. I think there is so much talent that is not being used. In fact, I talk to senior citizens. They say, Charlie, after I officially retired, I went back and I was a part-time substitute teacher.
Yeah, if they choose to do that, that's fine. But they need to be able to retire to then choose to do that. And you just said you're against retirement. So what do you want, some like 92-year-old working at Home Depot? Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
And so I challenge this idea of retirement altogether. People are living longer. Are they doing more with their 70s or 80s? Some yes, some not so much. But you say, Charlie, I'm just going to retire and I'm just going to go golf. I think what a waste of the gifts that God has given you. What a waste of the wisdom that you have been given just to kind of just watch TV and to golf.
This one's a personal attack on me. First of all, I love just watching TV. Love it. Second of all, I love golf. So no, he's coming for my retirement. Come on, Charlie. Come on, man. But if people choose, they want to lay on the couch and watch TV and play golf. that sounds like a lovely retirement. And some people, if they choose to do that, by all means, bro, go right ahead. There's no problem with that at all. You do whatever you want when you retire, but the main point is you should be able to retire. We used to have a poverty rate for seniors that was 35%. And then when we got Social Security, that dropped to like 10%. Massively cut the senior poverty rate. And here he is talking about we got to raise the retirement age or cut the benefits. It's just like, guys, this is their real agenda. They might pretend from time to time, oh no, we love the workers. Oh no, we're actually more populous now. But when push comes to shove, they want to cut the social safety net colossally. That's what they want to do. They want to force you back to work. By the way, they don't want you to be unionized, so they want you to make less money and have worse benefits and work longer hours. So you tell me what's more appealing to you.
You know how many Turning Point USA chapters would be blessed by people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s to mentor them, to pour into them, to give them advice? So we take money from people who need it the most, young families in their 20s and 30s, and give it to those who need it the least.
Oh my God. That's the old, like, this is redistribution of wealth. Yeah, and many times redistribution of wealth is mega based. Super duper based. What is it, like, fewer than 10 people, the richest people in this country, have more than the bottom 50% combined? And that's okay for... No, I am pro redistribution of wealth as long as it's done intelligently, as long as it's done in the right way. There's already a class war being waged on the workers. It's just being waged by the rich. I just want to reverse that dynamic and have the working class wage the economic war on the rich so that we do redistribution of wealth. So we have unions and things of that nature. And this idea, like, oh my God, you're hurting the working people when you tax them to pay out for Social Security. I just told you, do you want the senior poverty rate to go back to 35%? Because it can if you get rid of Social Security. If you cut it, it'll certainly raise from where it is right now. Is that what you want? You want it to rise? All right, well, look, he admitted it, right? He admitted it. I'm against retirement because it's not biblical. So I don't really care what's biblical, and retirement is super based. And if you want to go ahead and try to make that argument to the public, by all means. I would love for Republican politicians to come out and say that. Just like I'd love for them to come out and say, I'm pro-child labor, right? Just like I'd love for them to come out and say, I'm against free school meals. Like, hey, props for the honesty, because they make my life a hell of a lot easier. All right, guys, that's the show. Love y'all as always. Everybody do me a big favor. Click like, click subscribe. If you do nothing else, click that sub button. Hook a brother up. There's some large percentage of you that watches the show but doesn't subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps us out tremendously in the algorithm, so please consider it. And everybody do me a big favor. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. That helps as well. And remember, guys, I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I'm very proud of that fact. You guys help build this channel from the ground up. So you can support the show on Patreon, link below, or you can tip on YouTube. There's a thanks button as well. And Substack, too, for Crystal Kyle and Friends. We have an awesome Crystal Kyle and Friends this week. I'm so excited to talk to Naomi Klein about her new book, Doppelganger, which is an amazing book. Basically, Naomi Klein is, a left hero. She wrote The Shock Doctrine about disaster capitalism, about how elites force through unpopular agendas during a crisis. And there's this other woman named Naomi Wolf, who's like a right-wing conspiracy theorist, who now people always confuse Naomi Klein with Naomi Wolf. And she wrote a book about how, like, insane that has been, this funhouse mirror version of herself, who's now even become more popular than her in many respects, and just, like, what that's been like. And it's a really, really interesting book. I'm in the midst of reading it right now. But everybody definitely check out Crystal Kyle and Friends this week. You're going to love it. And that's all I got for you guys, man. I love y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.